the experience of Texas with autonomous vehicles, the experiment that's just beginning. And I wanted to ask you to leap forward a bit and imagine the brave new world. Imagine a day, a few years from now when you and I own a vehicle that we can summon at any time. We can jump into it, not having to drive it. We can read a book, watch a movie, eat a meal, take a nap. It can take us wherever we want to go. We don't have to worry about parking it because we can let it circle the block or go somewhere else while we're doing our thing, and we can summon it back anytime. In that world, what incentive do you and I have to take public transportation or get on a bike? And if I'm right about the answer to that question, what is the impact on congestion? What is the impact on pollution, especially if some of these vehicles are not zero emissions vehicles? What is the impact on some of the bigger challenges that we're already facing in our transportation system?
So we've talked a lot about this with both startup level autonomous vehicle companies as well as the OEMs and the transit community as well, because they're looking at AV buses and other solutions similar to that. Microtransit was mentioned earlier. I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all solution. There's been discussion of having services, almost like you have cable subscriptions. You subscribe to a particular manufacturer's vehicle or its system and its service that it provides, and you don't own that car whatsoever. It shows up when you need it and delivers you where you want to go. But where you want to go may not be specific, door to door. It may be door to a multimodal hub that might involve other transit services as well. So the mix and the solutions that are being driven, back to the Innovation Alliance, are locally identified. The problems that they have, and each region has disparate, they have similar problems, but they have regional challenges that are different, and each transportation system is different. So they're looking at what fits best with what they project over the next 20, 30 years, what they currently have, and how they can get to that point. And a mix of those solutions, it typically is what they're seeing as the first best option, rather than trying to select what the only option is going to be in the near future.
Okay. So I'm wrong to be worried about that?
I'm not saying you're wrong to be worried. I think that there are a lot of people, including the mayor's team and others in the state, and I mentioned the Smart Cities Labs and a number across the nation, and ITS America and AASHTO and the Transportation Research Board have communal discussions on this on a regular basis and are looking at what can be done to address that specific challenge and what's the reliability, the safety, the security, the privacy, which are all concerns that we have, and that we communicate regularly to the industry that's developing it to make sure that all of those things are addressed and deliver the quality of life that would be imagined in that kind of future.
And what do you see, and I'll invite anybody to answer this question, as the federal role in regulating, overseeing driverless vehicles with respect to the questions I raised, safety, privacy, other issues that you mentioned?
Well, Federal Highways has had a number of meetings, national level dialogues, and they've published autonomous vehicle guidance over the past several years. And that has served as a catalyst and an enabler to the states, especially those states that have moved forward on passing autonomous vehicle and connected vehicle related laws. And I think that that's been a positive in natural relationship between the two. And to date, the regulation hasn't been necessary. However, the work that was being done on the previous autonomous vehicle bill mirrored, in many cases, our state's laws and Michigan DOT's state's laws and several others. There were very common themes in those, and it seemed like that was going in the right direction before that didn't make it through the last session.
Yeah, and Congressman, if I could add to it, I'm on the board of the Intelligent Transportation Society of America, and at AASHTO I co-chair with the Secretary from Delaware, the Cooperative Automated Transportation Executive Committee, which is a joint effort of AASHTO, ITS America, the Institute of Transportation Engineers, and FHWA and FTA are at both of those tables. When you look at the automated vehicle, that SAE level 4, level 5 vehicle that's 99.9% of the way there, a colleague of mine from Germany points out that Imagine you're climbing Mount Everest. If you fly to New Delhi, you're 99% of the way there. If you fly from there to Kathmandu, 99.9%, go to the base camp, you still have to climb the mountain. Something that we're looking at in terms of mobility is the notion of mobility on demand and the ability to say, I'm here, I want to go there, what are my options? You have trip planning done for you. You pick the trip you want to take, knowing the cost, knowing the time, knowing perhaps the environmental consequences or the health benefits, what have you, and then that app does the transactions for you and gives you the permissions to go where you're going. ITS America is standing up a Mobility on Demand Alliance next month in Seattle, because I'm co-chairing that effort. That kind of work is going on, and the federal government's been a great partner in that and in developing policy. We're working together to determine what are the questions that need to be asked and answered. We're hearing a lot from our friends in industry that, start with a light touch, and that's what we're doing. But the conversations are ongoing. The federal role is much appreciated. The seed money, the sandbox, Mobility on Demand sandbox, and other things that agencies are doing, helping make our jobs easier as we enter into this brave new world.
Thank you.
Mr. Payne.